Hi guys, Mark here for KetoKitchenCollection.com, and today's video is about my experience with intermittent fasting hell. So when I started the keto diet some 2.5 odd years ago, the first time I did the keto diet was a 5-week stint, and it went phenomenally well. Okay, I had 5 weeks, then I had a planned break, and in those 5 weeks I lost 26 pounds, which is about 12 kilos for the metric viewers out there. And that's a lot of weight to lose in 5 weeks, okay? That's more than 2 kilograms a week. It was just extremely, extremely successful, and there was no intermittent fasting in that. I was waking up, eating breakfast, lunch and dinner, all the snacks in between, and I had a moderate calorie deficit. I probably had a bit too much of a calorie deficit in hindsight, but nonetheless, I didn't do any intermittent fasting, and it worked extremely well for me. After that first 5-week period, I then went into ketosis again after a break of about a week or so. And this time I incorporated intermittent fasting, whereby after, of course, fasting overnight while I was asleep, I then kept fasting, didn't eat anything, had water and maybe some low-calorie or zero-calorie, no-sugar drinks, that sort of thing, like, Coke Zero, that type of thing. And then it got to midday and I'd start a 6 to 8 hour eating window, probably finishing eating around 7 p.m., and then I go to fasting again. And that was my intermittent fasting protocol. And the thing that I found so I had a late eating window throughout the day, and the thing that I found is that after maybe 3 or 4 days, I was getting this massive crippling lethargy, and my motivation just to get anything done, my work or chores around the house, things that needed doing, my motivation for all those things went down. I became more irritable. And the only difference from the time prior when I'd been on the keto diet, just, a week or so ago, was that I was including intermittent fasting. And I thought, this is not good. I've always been one who's needed a reasonable breakfast just to start the day off well and help power me through the day. So I thought, okay, let's shift the eating window. I'll, of course, fast overnight while I'm asleep. I'll wake up and I'll start eating at 6 a.m. And I'll keep going through to about 1 to 2 p.m. to give me up to an 8-hour eating window. So I've got an early eating window in the day. And then from 2 p.m. on, I wouldn't eat anything until, the next day at 6 a.m. And I did that again for maybe 3 or 4 days, and it certainly made me feel better. I got through the day better without having that horrible lethargy and lack of motivation. And, it also has a bit of a depressive effect on your mood too, or it did for me. And I avoided that for the most part, but it got to the end of the day, and for me, it's probably the same as for many people, I like to have a meal at the end of the day for whatever reason. I like to eat at the end of the day more so than I do at the start of the day. Even though I know breakfast is vital for me to have a good productive day, I just like to have a reasonable dinner, and I think a lot of people are the same. And it got to the point at the end of the day, I'm only human. I'm not a robot. I can't just have an iron willpower to push through these things all the time. And I get to the end of the day and I'd have to eat something. I was just feeling miserable, just wanted to eat something. And so I'd start to eat something and invariably I'd binge. And even if it was keto food, I'm talking keto food here. I wasn't going off the keto diet. Get to the end of the day, invariably I'd eat something keto approved, and then I'd just keep eating keto approved food and keep eating and eating and eating, and I'd binge and I'd just blow my calories right out for the day. And I found that was pretty consistent when I had an early eating window doing intermittent fasting. So I either had a late window and felt like garbage for most of the day. Even once I started eating again, it wasn't enough. I still felt like garbage for the rest of the day. Or I had an early eating window and I just binge in the evening. And none of it was working. And I tried a few times. I jumped off the keto diet, went back on the keto diet with intermittent fasting, trying to shift the eating windows around. And it was just the same thing over and over and over. For me, intermittent fasting is not worth it. I can't function properly. I can't keep the calorie deficit there suitably to get the weight loss that I wanted at the time. So I had to give it away. I couldn't keep doing the intermittent fasting. I had to go and just keep having breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the snacks in between. But that worked really well for me, guys, okay? I don't need to do intermittent fasting to get decent results or get really good results on a keto diet or really on any type of diet. I've experimented with a lot of different things. And intermittent fasting for me it was hard to tell if it really had a significant impact for me to accelerate my weight loss, because it was hard for me to stick to it for any decent period of time. I expect it. I mean, so many people get a good amount of benefit from intermittent fasting. There's a lot of scientific literature and studies that back up and confirm that intermittent fasting can have a lot of benefits for a lot of people with accelerated successful weight loss. And I imagine it would probably be the same for me, but for me, the mental game of intermittent fasting was just too tough. It just didn't work for me. And so I gave it away. I might try it again sometime, but like I said before, I get a lot of success from the dieting and tweaking things the way I do so that it works in a way that's suitable for me. I get a lot of success from that anyway, so I'm not in any great rush to go back to intermittent fasting. So I guess my suggestion to you guys is try it out. Absolutely try out intermittent fasting. See how you go. If it works for you, fantastic, great, stick with it. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. You can still get success without intermittent fasting and get the weight loss you want. So, guys, if you have any questions, please post in the comments section below. I'd love to hear from you on what your experience is with intermittent fasting. If you got any benefit or entertainment from this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.